Hello, welcome back to another You Ask, I Answer. You notice the piece of art behind me? Yes, I finally decided to post that drawing right there. I need to put some more behind me, but as time goes on, I will put more stuff behind, but I think that's a good spot. It will be visible in every video going forward. Here's a question. Nick, have you ever bought a collection? If you're new to the channel, then you probably don't know, but if you're not, then you have heard me tell stories on various purchases over the years of big collections. But I think this one has never been told. I'm pretty sure this one has not been told. Back in 2008, when I returned to the hobby, shortly after I submit my first batch to CGC, I was browsing Craigslist. Not the first time. I had browsed on Craigslist long before, but I was browsing Craigslist, and here's what's odd. Okay, I'm telling you, the comic god have done crazy things that I cannot explain. I was browsing Craigslist in Kentucky. The reason why, my wife and I just came back from my wife's best friend wedding in Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky to be exact. That's where my wife grew up and went to school. And her family, her best friend from high school and college, their family is still in Kentucky, even though her best friend also moved down to Florida and lived in Tampa. But the wedding was in Lexington, so we went to Lexington, and I loved it. I really liked Lexington. In fact, we thought about moving to Lexington. Yes, we did. We seriously considered selling our houses here and move to Lexington, Kentucky after that trip. So, when I was searching on Craigslist, for whatever reason, I was also checking out Kentucky Craigslist. Yeah, bizarre, but I did. And I saw an ad for a collection, a small collection. It was like maybe 300 books, maybe 400. I can't remember exactly, but it was basically 2 long boxes. And it was somebody that advertised, mostly Spider-Man, some Silver Age to Bronze, and then there's a bunch of other stuff like Silver Age, X-Men, Silver Age, Avengers, and stuff like that. But the bulk of the boxes, the 2 boxes are Silver Age Spider-Man and Bronze Age Spider-Man. So I saw the ad. There was a couple very bad pictures. Couldn't tell anything. So I contacted the person through Craigslist and said, can you email me better pictures? Show me something good. And the person emailed me back 4 pictures. And of those 4 was a Spider-Man 101 that looked really high grade. A Spider-Man 90 that looked super high grade as well. And then a low to mid grade Spider-Man, Silver Age, Steve Ditko Spider-Man. So I looked at the pictures. The asking price was like $1,800. And after a lot of email exchange, I made an offer. To make the story short, I made an offer of $1,200, and the person said yes, we agreed. But before we came to the agreement, before I made the offer, the person told me, if you buy this collection, I am willing to drive it down to deliver it to you. I have a relative that lives nearby. So, and I have been through, I have drove from Lexington, Kentucky all the way down to Florida to visit this relative once a year for many years. So it's not a big deal if we can come to an agreement on a price. Next month when I go down there, I bring the book. right? So I'm sitting there saying, if that's the case, how about 1,200? And surprisingly, the person didn't really counter. He said, okay, 1,200 sound cool. And we arranged to meet right off the exit at a parking lot of the little shopping strip. So on that day, about a month later, we met up. I brought cash, and I told him I drove a blue old Saab station wagon. He drove a hatchback yellow Ford Pinto. I remember because how many people still see a Pinto around, right? So it was easy to spot his yellow Pinto in the parking lot. And I went over there. His wife was with him. She sat in the car. We said hi. He opened the hatchback, and there goes the two long boxes. And I thumbed through them. I did look through a few books. And of course, I looked at the Spider-Man 101. There was a 101-90. The latest Spider-Man book was 125. The Man-Wolf, the first appearance of Man-Wolf, whatever that issue is. And I looked at those three books, and they were all like at least 9.4, 9.6 range. And I was pretty happy with those. And I kind of looked through the Silver Age Spider-Man book. They're all low, mid-grade stuff, nothing high grade. So I looked through a bunch of them, and everything looked good. I count all the books based on the list that he gave me to make sure that everything that he said he planned to sell me is in there. And it turns out he's selling his entire collection, however small the collection was, to use the cash to do a makeover of his man cave. He no longer collects comic books. He stopped collecting comic books for over a decade, and he's a big fan of NASCAR, car racing. So he wants to have a big man cave makeover with a big screen TV and whatever it is that he wants to decorate his room to watch his favorite sport, NASCAR racing. So I said, cool. All right. So I hand over the money, and I took the book home. When I got home, I did a more thorough review of everything, and I found five Silver Age Spider-Man with color touch, amateur color touch. By this point, it's literally like maybe 4 months since I got my first submission back from CGC with the color touch. So by this point, I already ramped up my restoration checking and understanding what to look for. So I found like 5 books with color touch. And if you watch my first grading tutorial where I show 2 books with color touch, those 2 books are part of the 5 books that had color touch in that collection. So I found those, and I was kind of bummed out. Just like, man, damn it. So I emailed him. I said, dude, I found 5 books with color touch. He had no idea. He's like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to say. You want a refund? On my way back, I'm visiting my relative right now, but if you want to, I can come back next weekend and refund you the money, and you give me back all my books if you're unhappy with the book. I thought about it. I stewed on it for a while, and then I examined the rest of the boxes in the books, and I said to myself, I'm still gonna make out really well with what's left. Sure, those 5 books have restoration, but they're not keys. They're Silver Age Spider-Man, but they're not big keys, and they're not big price book. So I said, that's okay. I didn't even ask for a partial refund. I thought 1,200 was a good deal. So that was it. That was one crazy deal that went through, that happened, that I thought would never happen. Now, the happy ending of the story is I end up slabbing and get 9.6 on the Spider-Man 101, 9.6 on issue 90, and I get 9.8. I got 2 9.8 in the Bronx area for Spider-Man. One was the first Man-Wolf, and then the other one is one of those issues before. I can't remember exactly which one. There was a couple 96, 94 as well. A lot of the Spider-Man between 101 and 125 was high grade. So I have sold all of those books long ago. I got like 1,500 for the Spider-Man 101. I got like 700 for the Spider-Man 90, and then 400 for the Man-Wolf. I have more than triple the return of that collection. So in the end, I think I was smart to not return the collection and get my cash back because of the 5 restored books. So that's it. That's the story of me and that strange coincidence of finding a collection all the way in Kentucky. I hope you enjoyed the story. That's it. Until the next question.